This is reMarkable. More precisely, this is the reMarkable 2, kindly sent to me for review. It arrived in decent looking packaging, and I've got the tablet, a pen and some covers. Opening it up, it makes a really good first impression. You can see the main tablet in the middle. You've then got the usual getting started pamphlets to the side. It comes with a USB Type-C cable for charging. When I first got hold of the reMarkable, I was really impressed with the quality of it. It feels really good in the hand. To control it, you're going to need to buy one of the pens as well. There's two available. One has an eraser on one end and the other doesn't. Both work in the same way, and you can see how responsive the screen is. So this is me going through the setup process. I've already set up my reMarkable account. I've connected the tablet to that account, and then you go through the main setup procedure, which allows you to pick your language and whether you're left or right-handed, and that can be changed later on. There's then a brief tutorial just to help you around the tablet, and the first thing that really struck me was, although this is a bit like an iPad has had a baby with a Kindle, what you get is a much faster screen than I'd be used to on a Kindle. It's very responsive when you touch it. It doesn't feel at all what I was expecting from an e-ink display. Talking of the iPad, here's the iPad Pro 10-inch next to it, so you've got a feel for the scale. So it's a really nice size. It's a bit like an A4 notepad, or maybe a letter notepad if you're in America. And you can see that while they're roughly similar sizes, the reMarkable is much thinner than this iPad. Now, grant you, this is a much older iPad Pro. Maybe the newer ones are thinner, but this reMarkable is very thin. And one of the big benefits that I noticed straight away is the screen. It's actually come out a lot better, the iPad screen, on this recording. I couldn't really see it in the sun, but you can see, just like paper, it's super easy to read what's on the reMarkable screen. And just like paper, you've got a load of different things you can do with it. So here I've just got basic lines and I can write out my thoughts, but you can change the underlying template. You've got lines, you've got dots, you've got blank paper, you've got graphs, you've got all sorts. You can erase what you've written and it just clears it from the screen. And you've got a range of different tools. I really like the fine pen for writing. If you don't get the pen that has the eraser on the tip, there is an eraser sidebar tool, so the tip just makes it a bit quicker. So you can see down the side you've got tool selection, you've got thickness. This is the eraser, so you can either erase a little bit or you can draw round. So there's me just erasing a little bit, or you can draw all the way around something, whether it's text or a drawing, and that will erase it, or you can do the entire page. You've also got the ability to cut, paste and move things. So if you do a little drawing, you can circle it, and if you want to move it around, whether it's drawing or text, whatever, you can just move that about. What I also really like is when you resize it, at first it looks a bit jaggedy when you make it bigger, but then it renders and it upscales the lines, which I think is very cool. I wasn't expecting that. And as well as being able to move things around and resize them, you can also cut them and paste them. So if there wasn't enough room on this page, if I want to make this a really big box, I can simply cut it and paste it onto a new page. Now, while the screen itself is black and white, you can't have any colour displayed on the screen. That doesn't stop you from using colour. The pens themselves can be set to different colours. So for example, if I pick a blue, it will look slightly different to the normal black, and I can draw on here so you can kind of see it's different to the black. And then I can pick a red if I want to, and I can write with the red, and again it looks slightly different, but you don't see it on the screen. What does happen though is it does store that information that it is red text and the blue circle, and when you export this or send it or view it elsewhere, you'll see the colours. And that makes this a great tool for marking up documents and diagrams. So I mentioned I really like the fine line pen, but let me just quickly demo the others. So you've got the ballpoint option, you've got the fine liner, and again all of these can have different colours and different thicknesses. There's a marker which is slightly thicker. You've then got pencil, so you could use this for drawing if you're artistic. You've got a mechanical pencil, and I have to say the crazy thing about this is they all look really good. I'm not doing anything different. I'm just writing. So here's a Paintbrush one, but you can see each one looks distinctly different. It also has a highlighter. You simply draw over the bits you want to highlight. That will fade away so it doesn't obscure the text. But when it's exported, you'll see a nice clear highlighting. And the calligraphy pen isn't something that I've ever used, but I was very impressed that it really does get the penmanship really right, doesn't it? Look how thick it is on certain angles. The other thing I was really impressed with was the sound it makes as you're writing and drawing. Just adds to this tactile experience you get of writing things out. Now, I used to work in an office and I never transitioned over to laptops or tablets for taking notes. I always used pad and pen. It gave me a break from looking at screens and I much prefer it even to this day. So this would have been ideal if I was still in an office-based job. One of the things I used to have to do was take a load of notes and then circulate them around to the team. And that would mean I'd write them down, I'd type them up, put them into an email and send them out. Well, with this, half of that job is done for you. I can still take a load of notes as if I'm writing on paper, but then I can click the convert to text and send button and it will read my scruffy handwriting, convert it to text, and then I can email that out, either to people who are at the meeting, or I can email it to myself to then put into a slightly nicer format. And reviewing documents is one of the main features that this has on it. So you can send yourself a PDF, put a PDF onto this, and you can scroll through it, and you can use your pen to annotate onto the document. So this just happens to be a workbook that I've created for YouTube, and you can go through it and fill out your ideal viewer and all that kind of stuff. Now, normally you would either buy it printed or you'd have to print it out if you wanted to fill out all the little boxes. But with the reMarkable 2, you don't need to do that because you can just load the PDF in and you can just write in all the little boxes. And what's great is that this will synchronize back to your other devices. So if you've got the mobile app or the PC client, you can easily get access. You don't have to constantly send this back and forth. They just synchronize across all devices. If you want a case, there are a couple available and I've got two of them, a premium leather brown version, which is like a notebook. When you open it up, the reMarkable clips in and it's magnetically held in place. It's very strong. You can't really move this without the magnet pulling the other way. So that's good for generally wandering around. You clip the pen onto the side that holds on magnetically. However, when I'm traveling out, like I'm visiting a client, I use this one because it has a space not only for the reMarkable to just slide into, but it also has a place to hold the pen. And the magnetic hold is fine for around the house or around the office, but this is a better travel case because the pen is nice and secure. The reMarkable 2 is one of those gadgets I didn't realise I would like as much as I do. I've been using it now for the past few weeks. I've taken it to client meetings, I've used it during online presentations and Zoom meetings, and it's become one of those things that I just have on me and around me, and I'm just jotting down to-do lists and thoughts and plans and scribbling out different diagrams. It's just very versatile, and I'm someone who normally would have a stack of pads and bits of paper lying around. I can pretty much replace all of them with this. It is also a really good e-reader. It's bigger than the Kindle, which makes it suitable for books that were traditionally printed maybe in a larger format or with photos in that don't really come out too well on the smaller Kindle screen. So you can easily sit down, load up a book and use this for relaxation as well. It's not just all about work. A lot of the features do require a subscription. On the basic no plan, you can keep all your notes and use the reMarkable as is, but if you want to do things such as cloud synchronization with Google Drive or OneDrive and you want to convert your handwriting to text, you'll need to have the Connect plan. For more info, click the link below. I'll see you on my next review.